court records show the driver who is accused of causing it is now facing multiple felony charges. The crash happened outside of Westfield on West Lincoln Street near South Division Street just after 7 p.m. on Friday. The Clark County coroner says husband and wife Michael and Gail Clayton were killed when a van crossed the center line and hit their truck head on. The Coles County board chairman says Michael was in his second term as a board member. 2 others in the truck were hurt and taken to a hospital. The driver of the van, who state police identified as 34-year-old Edwin Pachek Meza, is facing charges of reckless homicide and aggravated DUI.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please do not forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to head back on over to where the People's Republic of Chicago, because the foolishness and the madness continues. And now, before we get into the main story at hand, I want to make this correction, okay? Because I was incorrect about something that I stated concerning Greg Bovino having to go to federal court in Chicago in order to report to Judge Sarah Ellis, who is a Obama-appointed judge. He had to go report to her and give testimony to her concerning ICE operations. She wants to make sure that he's not doing anything wrong and that none of the ICE agents are doing anything wrong concerning Operation Midway Blitz, specifically as it pertains to the deployment of tear gas, right? I stated yesterday that it was reported that she wants him to come back and report to her once a week about ICE operations, just so she can keep tabs on him. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. I was wrong. She doesn't want him to appear in court once a week to answer to her. She wants him to appear every day, Monday through Friday, before 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, literally every day. This is ridiculous. Look at this here. Dictatorship update. Liberal foreign-born judge forces top Border Patrol officer Greg Bovino to physically report to her each day on his work in Chicago to ensure he isn't doing anything wrong. Okay? That is absurd. Once again, her name is Sarah Ellis, or Sarah L. Ellis. She's an Obama-appointed judge. This is nothing more than theatrical nonsense, which is the DNC way. And you look at this theatrical nonsense and you think about it and you say, you're doing this all for what? Miss Ellis, Judge Ellis, Obama-appointed Ellis. Why are you doing this? So you can protect guys like this? Really? These are the guys you're trying to protect here, right? That's who you're protecting. Guys like this, a man, you know, a migrant, Venezuelan migrant, who was arrested 8 times since 2024 before stabbing a man who refused to delete a video. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the main story, because these are the lunatics. These are the criminals that this judge and these DNC lunatics who call themselves protesters are trying to protect. Let me transition over to this article here, and let's unpack some of this madness concerning this guy here. Look at him. Anyways, let's carry on. Okay, so once again, the article title reads, Migrant arrested 8 times since 2024, stabbed man who refused to delete video, prosecutor stated. A Venezuelan migrant, wink, wink, right, who has been arrested 8 times in less than 2 years is now detained on allegations that he repeatedly stabbed a man on a back of the yard's sidewalk to steal his phone, prosecutors said. Judge Antara Riviera on Wednesday ordered 26-year-old Anthony Vasquez Gutierrez detained on charges of robbery and 3 counts of aggravated battery for the September 20th attack in the 4800 block of South Ashland Avenue. Timeout on the court. Flag on the play. He stabbed a man multiple times, and this lunatic only got 3 counts of aggravated battery. How is it not attempted murder? How is that not attempted murder to stab someone in the back? That is crazy. But Once again, we're talking about Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking that they will find a reason, you know, by hell or high water, they will find a reason to put criminals back out on the street. They will find a reason to make sure that these charges aren't as they're not upgraded or elevated to the heights that they should be at, for lack of better words. When we're looking at a clear attempted murder, but they're calling it aggravated battery. Once again, this is how, ladies and gentlemen, this is how crime is down in Chicago. Crime is down, remember, because either they're not reporting a crime at all, or what should be attempted murder, it's just aggravated battery. Murder is down in Chicago. Attempted murder is down in Chicago. Well, of course, attempted murder is going to be down in Chicago when you're just calling it all aggravated battery. Anyways, I digress. I'll get off my soapbox and let's continue on with the article. But remember, crime is down in Chicago. Prosecutors said the victim was recording the neighborhood on his phone with plans to send the video to his family when Vasquez Gutierrez confronted him and demanded that he delete the footage. When the man refused, Vasquez Gutierrez allegedly pulled out a 6-inch knife and stabbed him multiple times until the victim surrendered the device. How is that not attempted murder? These liberal judges, man, these liberal prosecutors, wow. They will do anything to have this psychopath back out on the streets. They will do anything, absolutely anything, to have this guy back out on the street. They love crime, absolutely love crime. Unbelievable. Look at this. Let's carry on. We're going to bring this article to a close. Vasquez was arrested last week in a separate incident after allegedly threatening another person with a knife and repeatedly kicking a Chicago police officer who was trying to arrest him. Officers reported that the kitchen knife fell to the ground during their struggle to arrest him. Why wasn't he already in jail? This man should have never been free to begin with. But they don't need the National Guard in Chicago. No, there's no crime problem in Chicago. Crime is down 30%, right? What did it say? Shootings and murders are down 30%. Crime is down. Yet nobody in the city feels safe when you talk to them about crime. They don't feel safe. But crime is down. Jesus Christ. They refuse to put people in jail in Chicago. Look at this. Court records show Vasquez has been arrested 8 times since January of 2024. The cases include multiple shoplifting and domestic battery allegations, battery, and driving without a license twice in March of 2024. He received a 32-day sentence earlier this month for felony shoplifting and failed to appear in court for driving matters, according to court records. Prosecutors dropped all other cases. Vasquez remains in custody while awaiting trial on his 2 last arrests. Crime is down in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. Crime is down in Chicago. It's ridiculous. What I just read to you guys was completely absurd. Completely absurd. But you know what's even more absurd? The people who are trying to defend guys like this. Let me play you a video of someone who was a DNC lunatic who was impeding an arrest, right? Obstructing justice in the middle of a targeted ICE operation in Chicago, right? Operation Midway Blitz. And I just want to show you what some of these folks look like that are out here defending hardened criminals like this that Biden let across the border, right? Via the Biden crisis that we call the migrant crisis, which was largely Venezuelan migrants who this individual is here, right? So let me show you a video of one of his defenders, just, you know, being held accountable by federal agents for impeding arrest and obstructing justice. Check this video clip out here.
I'm not resisting.
What are you doing? You're under arrest for making
No, I never said a threat. I never said anything. I never said anything. I never said anything.
So you got her, man. Hey.
I want you to let me go.
Let's go. You can record. Let's back up. Thank you.
I will if you let me go.
I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to say too much. But these are his defenders. These are the people that are risking their freedom. They're risking their freedom to defend a lunatic like this. That's who they're risking their freedom for. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Then again, we are talking about Chicago, right? We are talking about Chicago. It's completely ridiculous. And I think we'll just leave it there. There's so much more I could say. There's so much more to talk about, but we'll save it for another video. Trust me when I say there's a lot more. But with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to this channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platform. And please do not forget to follow me on Telegram. That is extremely important that you do that. Please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.